we're sort of in we're in between books, sort of.
Yeah.
Um, have you finished Celestina?
I haven't started that one.
Okay, I haven't started
Yeah, I
either. So,
was it's
oh,
kind
we
of
were going to read The Sellout first, right?
right. That's the one I've been going through.
Okay. Have you gotten much further?
Probably about 60, 70 pages in.
Okay, so I am still in the prologue because I am sort of mired in chasing the boogeyman. I want someone else to read that book with me
Well, I was.
who works here.
Oh, I picked it up. Read a big chunk of it. That one yesterday at lunch.
Okay, how far have you gotten?
Not very far. I only read it for like 15, 20 minutes maybe.
Okay, I was going to ask if you have gotten to the murders yet.
No, no. He's
Okay.
still talking about his childhood friends and his home and his father and trying to create the town as like a character. It seems like
Okay, yes.
that's how it feels, at least.
It's interesting that you stated that way because but I just knew that he was trying to give us a really good feeling about just how Edgewood, right,
Edgewood, yeah.
really is. But I never really considered it, as him trying to portray it as a character. So that's very interesting.
Yeah,
But this is a side note. Have you got to the poopy part yet in that book?
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it's just an underlying theme today. I
Well,
don't
maybe
know.
that's what happened out there. Maybe. Well, I guess we gotta backtrack just enough where I picked up poop off the floor, barehanded. Okay. In my defense, it looked like a piece of mulch. It just or a rock or something.
Which we have a lot of outside in our
Yeah,
garden.
yeah. And I just just trying to keep everything clean and tidy, and I saw it, and I just bent down and picked it up, and then realized something smelled bad. I guess I was holding a container. It wasn't like I was just walking around with poop in my hand. I just dropped it in what I was going to throw away, and then but I kept smelling it, and then that's when I realized that. Picked up poop.
This is really why I love my job. It's never dull here, so I love it.
I just washed my hands.
Each day is very, very interesting.
I washed many sanitizers, many soaps. Probably have the cleanest hands in the library right now.
Okay, so you washed it with several things.
Yeah, I didn't like panic. I just casually, not going to call attention to the poop.
Yeah, I saw you as you were walking in, and you were just, you were just being Ryan.
Yeah, I guess I also should kind of clarify that it was just in the middle of the library and not like it just walked into the bathroom, because that'd have been like obvious, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just there. It's just
just chilling next to the new fiction. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I meant to tell you last time. I forgot about it. I came across a version of the Toronto movie.
I have been meaning to ask you about that. Did you happen to put it on hold, or was it just?
It was on YouTube of all places. So it was the whole movie, and you could hear the characters talking in English very faintly in the background, but it was dubbed. But it wasn't dubbed by different voice actors. It was one woman. And every time the characters would say something, she would, I guess, repeat the same thing. And I don't know what language it was.
Okay.
But so that's the only version that I could successfully find that was complete. And I just couldn't really watch it because the dubbing was so much louder than the movie too. But
how far did you get?
Once I realized it was going to be the whole movie like that and not just like because I don't know what she was saying at all.
Okay.
But it was very interesting to have just one person just dub an entire film.
Okay, so you didn't even last long enough to get to any spicy parts.
I guess I could have put put it on mute and just fast forward to see, but that'd feel kind of creepy.
Yes.
Like, I'm doing it for work.
So was it the movie that we found on Google?
It was the
Right?
same. It was the same movie, and it came up with like Maiden's Conspiracy, but yeah, I can't seem to find it.
Okay. But yes, the description of the movie was completely different, or is completely different from what we just read.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really focus in on some of those parts, that's just seems what the movie wanted
True.
more delicious battles than on-field battles. It seems.
I'm still laughing over that saying. All right, so if you ever end up watching it, you have to fill us in.
So, yeah, I'm still just distracted by the fact that I picked up poop. It's just such a weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's not every day that it happens, right? So we're
Like in my mind, I knew this was going to be a little bit different, so I kind of had like some ideas of things to mention that could get things going, and I got derailed. Just.
I mean, I guess you can't think too hard about it. I mean, see, because they do say that the more you think about something, that you're almost manifesting manifesting it into being. I don't know. So, okay. Yes. So I was also going to ask, we did decide to read The Sellout before Celestina, right?
Right, yeah, I figured because we were talking about doing something a little
Yes.
quicker and fluffier, and not. I keep saying fluffy, but like I don't want to say The Sellout's fluffy, but
Mhm.
something different that wasn't ancient epics or.
Yeah.
But I don't know how fluffy this one's gonna be.
It's completely different from what I was expecting. I mean,
It is.
although, as I always say, I don't know what I was expecting,
Right.
but it's a completely different kind of book.
So you're still in the prologue. Like
yes.
how far into the prologue?
Probably halfway. I
Okay.
don't remember.
So yeah, enough to like you get a sense of the style of it.
Yes.
It's very stylized.
Yes.
The character has a very strong voice for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, that really carries through. Yes.
And then I did catch myself, ironically enough, there's a couple parts that you read or see something funny like through your nose, like that kind of like haha.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a part, ironically enough, later on that involved poop that I actually like. I'm glad I was by myself because it released the laughter, not the poop.
I was just about to ask you too.
So there are moments that are like there's just like a I don't know where the story's going right now. I feel like it's just still building kind of the plot and the background and like the past of whatever situation is to come, because I don't know why he's in court yet, and
I was actually going to ask you, chapter 1 or so, is he going back in time to sort of like explain or describe how he gets to court?
I think so. He goes way back. He starts talking about his childhood.
Okay.
So I don't know where it's going yet, but what was I gonna say? There's parts that are like it's very interesting that it's funny, but it's also like, are you laughing because he's joking, or are you laughing because he's being honest, or like he's showing things like very brutal and being very honest and blunt about things, but it's interesting. I don't know yet.
Well, I was sort of wondering the same thing. I mean, even as I'm reading the prologue,
like he's saying very like harsh truths and
about our country, or
just
all right, yes,
country,
that's what I
race, and then because it's like because the style of it, it's not like a stream of consciousness, but it fires, like it changes so quickly from paragraph to paragraph of like what he's talking about, but it's all still essentially the same thing so far.
Okay.
But yeah,
I was not expecting it to be as politicized.
Yeah.
Does it have that same sense even in chapter 1. Oh, really?
Even though it's considered a comedy, I think it's a lot heavier than we're anticipating.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not super far into it.
Did you say that it's considered a comedy?
I thought so. From what I knew about it, it was supposed to be like a hilarious book. And there, I mean, like I said, it's
I am chuckling because I definitely don't see it that way. I mean, even I'm still very early in the book,
Yeah.
so I don't know, but I definitely don't
but
see that.
I also don't.
yet.
It could be one of those things where like if someone tells you like you need to like watch this movie or read this book because it's so funny and you watch it and it's not, because I think you have that mindset that it's supposed to be, and I think that kind of ruins some things.
I think there's something to be said about hyping a book up,
Yeah.
or even knowing something about it. It can sort of just spoil the effect.
Right.
Michaela and I were just recently talking about what is that book that has gone viral? How You Lose the Time War,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about that, and we made it clear that it's probably best to just not know anything about it.
Well, that's my go-to for everything.
Have you read the book?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, but I want to go into each book like I pick up rocks in the library, and
Okay.
sometimes it's actual rocks and sometimes it's poop.
It's sort of good that I don't know much else about The Sellout because I'm very interested in just seeing where it all leads.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen, but
Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the story is yet. I'm not sure what it's leading up to. But there's still tons of pages to go.
I'm not sure that I'm really taken with the style as of right now, but I
Right.
mean it might change, but
It's very heavy. It's very like long-winded and
yes. We will just see. All right, but you do or did have your preconceived notions about the book in general, right?
well, I just thought it was. From what I've read about it, that it's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be really funny.
Yep.
But then again, Confederacy of Dunces, the first third to half of the book wasn't that funny.
Mhm.
But once you build the situations, you have to know the situations to find the humor. If you just read about Ignatius with the parrot, or Ignatius in the office, or about the husband and wife that runs the office, it's not funny. But but as it's built and you see how they react to these things, that's when it gets hilarious. So
Now, my experience with a Confederacy of Dunces is sort of different because I listened to it. And I'm sort of glad that I listened to it before rather than reading it, just because the experience was different, and I feel that it was just so well done, and just.
So you did enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
Did you? And you found it funny?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's that the first part, the first half or so isn't. It's not funny. Like it's.
It's been so long, but I remember laughing out loud.
I do too.
At certain times.
Yeah, but it just had it just had to be built, and until it's built, it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens with this one.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess thinking more about it now, it seems like the books are somewhat similar. I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Okay. Gosh, I need to try to find the audiobook again because it's something that I wouldn't mind re-listening to.
Well, it's it's somewhere down the line.
Oh, so it is on our.
I'm pretty sure it has to be. It has to be.
5 years from now, maybe.
There's no way the book is not part of it.
Yes, I mean, I definitely consider it a classic.
Yeah.
While we're on this topic, can we just quickly bring up Cloud Atlas? It seems like that's another book that has just one of those complicated.
What's making you think about Cloud Atlas?
Well, okay, I don't know if the plot is complicated, but there are like many characters, and it just seems like it's another one of those books that you really have to stay with.
Have you read it? Have you
Okay,
finished
so
it?
let me just state for the record that I have tried twice to read the book, didn't get very far. Tried the movie, that didn't work for me either.
Okay, yeah, those are two totally different.
Really?
Totally different. Yeah. I wasn't sure how they were going to make the movie based on the book, and they just kind of went a different route with the movie. The book.
Okay, so you enjoyed the book more?
Hmm.
I think maybe I wasn't in the right headspace.
How
to
far did
read
you get?
it. I don't remember. It's been so long, but I just knowing. Okay, so knowing myself as a reader, I do know that I have to be in a certain mood for a certain book,
Right.
and I just don't think I was at a good at a point in my life where I was just ready to read that kind of book.
Right. Well, I mean, like with that Cloud Atlas too, the first story is more dense because it's written in such like an old style, and like the vernacular he uses is very a lot of words that I had to like look up, a lot of music terms that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to like a couple stories down the line, and it's written like a almost like a political thriller, and then you get a little further, and it's written like a comedy. It's very interesting. I think that's probably why I found it so interesting. Is it was one book that essentially told one story, and you didn't know which parts were true, and then but the style changed with each chapter.
I was actually going to ask you if there is a common thread through all of the stories.
Yes and no. It's been probably 10 years since I read it, but
Okay.
there's a very metafictional aspect to the book.
Okay.
That's probably why I enjoyed it too. I like that kind of metafictional.
Mhm.
That's probably why so far I'm kind of enjoying that boogeyman thing, because I can't tell what's real and what's not, and it's really neat. Because I thought
Okay.
even the little intro to the boogeyman with the James dude, James Renner, I think it said. I can't remember the name,
Mhm.
but I just thought it was like a made up person, and he was just. But then I looked something up, and sure enough, he's a real guy.
Mhm.
And I don't know if he actually wrote the introduction or if what's his name, Richard
Chismar?
Chismar
Mhm.
got his permission to write this thing as I don't know
Mhm.
what's.
So from what I understand, I mean, it's fiction, but he's basing it on actual events,
Okay,
right?
I have no idea.
That's
I don't know.
that was my understanding of it.
I have no idea how much of it is true or not true, and I think that what makes so far very interesting. Because I keep
Okay.
flipping it to the back of the thing too, and it says fiction right there, and I keep checking like maybe it changed, maybe I got to like maybe when I get to page 80 it'll change the thing, but yeah.
Yes, the same thing happened to me. But so far, the people have been very surprised by the ending.
Oh really?
Yes.
Don't tell me.
So
I don't know anything.
I will be there soon, but I just cannot wait to find out. Can I also say that I have been absolutely terrified by this book. I
Just like
Well, I
the
just-
atmosphere, or is there like a lot of stabbings?
uh,
Is it a physical thing that's terrifying you, or like the lurking in the shadows?
both. Well, it's there are some gruesome details that you will soon come to.
I'm very excited.
It's gosh, I just feel everything so viscerally, and I walking down the hall, rounding the corners at home, it's just not the same anymore. I'm just a wimp when it comes to stories and things about murders and crimes, and I just
you don't seem
it
can't
just
be that much of
terrifies
a
me.
you can't be that much of a whip because you keep returning to it. And you almost seem excited to get back to it.
Well, I mean, that's the crazy thing about this book.
It's just
It terrifies me, yet I am so intrigued by it.
this is opening some sort of like dark side to Joy.
Don't we all have a
What-
dark side?
What's it? How do they do what do they do with the DC superheroes? It's like anti Superman or something. I forget. Reverse Joy.
Yes. There's just something creepy about people or kids or girls, I guess, being stolen from their homes and being
Oh, is this the boogeyman?
killed. Yes, I just and
Well, no one's like, please.
Ryan. So there's actually a part. I don't know. There was one particular incident where in the town they had this person who I don't remember what the townspeople called him, the fondler or something like that.
This is still
Where
the boogeyman.
yes, where women or girls would wake up feeling someone caress their hair and touch, or he was the fondler or something. I don't know, and then he would just run away and leave, and that's just creepy,
Well, yeah.
to like.
Well, you don't want to read a horror novel and feel like good about it. That might be a different can of worms there.
No, well, I mean, all right, books that I know couldn't really happen don't bother me as much as books that could really,
Right.
that. And Chasing the Boogeyman is just one of those that could really happen. And I guess that they did because it's based on actual events. I don't know.
I guess
Maybe in the author's note he will explain a little more like what is
I was gonna say once
real and what's not.
once I'm done with it, it's probably a good time, probably safe at that point to Google and see how much is true and not true. But I
Yes.
said, oh, I don't want to know anything.
It's just scary, and I have just realized that I'm not a spicy reader, and I'm not a crime horror kind of reader either, or true crime, I guess.
So
I am so glad I didn't watch the Dahmer series. I just don't think I could have. Did you finish it?
Mhm.
Oh, how were you able to sleep?
usually on my stomach. So-
Did you fall asleep on your stomach?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were a belly sleeper.
I didn't know I had quite a name. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a side sleeper, but I do sometimes sleep on my back. But I prefer my right over my left for some reason.
I got a lot to knock out in the next couple weeks. Then we went from trying to find something easy to what, 2 now inadvertently.
Yes. Okay, look, I don't know how I get myself into these situations. That's why I am always very hesitant to pick things up off the floor. I mean, I do it, but I always grab something else too.
Normally I do too, but it didn't. Nothing about it registered that this was Dookie. Like, not a single thing.